This is going to be great. It's going to be good. In fact, I got an idea. Why don't we do a podcast about four beefy white guys talking about movies?
We're all beefy, huh? Is that how we're describing ourselves?
We are the beefy tees of podcasts.
We're beefy as in suet.
I'm not going to say I'm not beefy.
Yeah.
Like, I would make a good taco, I think.
I'm actually leaner than I think of myself.
Yeah, no, Kevin, you're very sinew.
I am.
Beef.
He's gamey.
I'm ranging toward thin, unhealthy. I'm headed toward unhealthy, but I'm okay.
And with that, welcome to the Distraction Hole, a podcast where we talk about our distractions because you can't be working on everything all the time.
Yeah.
I am hosting this week. I am David. You know me from Supernatural Selection. And then joining me this week is Kevin. Kevin, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. I always like doing this because I don't get to answer how I'm doing very often. No one asks me on the other show.
Oh,
I'm doing good.
Aw.
My blood sugar's actually under control, so I'm excited.
excellent, excellent. And we have Mike. Mike, how are you doing?
Well, up until about 30 seconds ago, I was doing okay, but then Kevin had to remind me that I have no beaver nuggets. So now I am spiritually, morally crushed, and I will never recover until I forget about the beaver nuggets.
I'm a terrible fucking human being.
Now, I noticed that we have someone tied to a chair here. Who is this?
Yes.
So this is our roommate.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Gage,
This is the film Gage.
the film Gage.
He
Yes.
really
right.
likes movies.
I
I
mean,
like them a lot.
I thought I liked movies, but damn, boy.
yeah, no.
It reminds me of a thing my friend told me this past weekend. You know, there's one thing to love something, and there's to have a passion for it. So Gage, tell me, do you love movies, or are you passionate for them?
I would say that I'm passionate for them.
It's more like a carnal, I don't know. This boy sees more movies than I think is healthy.
I was going to say it's borderline psychotic obsession.
I would say most of the knowledge inside my brain is like 90% movies, films, and actors and whatnot.
That is true. Every time he
Oh.
walks up, I'm like, I wonder what movie he's going to tell me about.
Right, just
Kevin,
unprompted,
you
just
say
give
this
some sort of
movie?
trivia to a film.
What's that?
Just unprompted, just gives a trivia to a film. You're
That's
just sitting there making a sandwich, and here comes Gage.
Yeah, that's how I used to be, and then I hit my 40s.
He stopped liking things.
Yeah, that's also true.
Granted, I think I became a bit more cynical of movies when I moved in with y'all.
Probably. We definitely were a influence. I
We're-
would say good or bad.
We're like a disease.
A bit of both.
Yeah. Swings and roundabouts.
Indeed.
So one thing we should have figured out before we hit the record button is the order of the stories here. So, who wants to go first with their distraction?
I tell you what, why don't me and Gage go first? Because we, oh boy, have we got opinions on something.
Oh,
Okay.
All right, so a little while back, a little indie art house film about homosexuality came out called The Flash. No, it's a big budget, supposed to be tentpole film from Warner Brothers in DC.
300 million.
Jesus H. Christ. So we saw it. I saw it finally. Gage has seen it before. And we've both got some thoughts on it. And first off, have either of you seen The Flash?
I did, yes.
Okay.
I have not.
Okay, Mike, you are so goddamn lucky.
Oh, and you know what? I saw Flash, and it was the last movie I saw at the theater that was across the street from me that closed down. So that
I
was,
am so sorry.
The swan song of that theater for you was a tragedy.
That's wow. That
yeah,
was
it's a
literally
nice metaphor.
That was literally the fat lady singing. That's why the movie closed.
That
They
was
showed the
Ezra Miller
Flash.
singing.
Well, it was fucking awful. To me, here's the thing. I've seen several of the DC movies. I still think Aquaman may be the worst thing I've ever seen that was made on purpose as a big budget movie, but The Flash is not only one of the worst DC movies I've ever seen, it has transcended that. It is also one of the worst Star Wars movies I've ever seen. It's one of the worst Ninja Turtles movies I've ever seen. It is transcendentally awful. And there are like 2 or 3 really good scenes in there, but they sort of act like beacon fires lighting up the shit fields below them. And it really just makes me angry. Like the whole goddamn movie. Like, people talk about the CG, and I'm like, people always talk about the CG. No, it's goddamn bad. It's like watching a PS3 game in a theater.
Like, is it worse than like the WB CG?
Yeah.
Wow.
Somehow it's worse than the Somehow Palpatine is returned. But no, somehow it is worse than the CW effects.
I would also argue that about 80, most of the CG on in the movie is close to the level of the Scorpion King from the Bobby Returns.
Yeah.
It is that bad and that distracting.
It's the CGI Scorpion King raising his eyebrow.
Well, I mean, like, most of the CG up until like the big finale and the chronosphere or whatever it is,
The
like,
Speed Force.
it was it was passable.
Yes.
But yeah, when they got into there, and I understand why they, like, number one, budget, time, everything like that. Like, that's one reason why it looks the way it does. And I saw that they were trying to kind of stylize it to make it less glaring.
Sure.
But also, like, the whole conceit of this version of the Speed Force, it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Well, you say budget, but they had $300 million.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, but that money wasn't going to effects.
Obviously.
Well, it wasn't going to fucking licensing the likeness of actors either, so...
Yeah. They
So-
didn't get a single permission to do that sequence. No one signed off on that, and there are lawsuits pending now.
there are also a slew of reshoots associated with the movie. The sequel to Aquaman is also going through the same issue right now.
You know, and I remember when Flash was announced, it was supposed to be Lord and Miller working on it.
Oh, wow. You know, they don't get to do a lot of stuff they're announced to do they?
Right, yeah, because they were originally going to be doing Solo.
Yeah. Yep. And instead we got Opie.
But it's funny, Kevin. You brought up like Aquaman as being like one of the worst DC movies, and it was pretty decent to me. Like, it wasn't the worst.
Let me put it to you like this: the power flickered, and the whatever I think it was like a media stick thing plugged into the TV we were watching it on, and when the power flickered and the TV came back up, I was like, I'm not fucking finishing that movie.
Shit.
This movie is so goddamn bad. I don't care if I ever finish it.
Yeah, I mean, the whole DC EU like was a mess. Yeah, like the honestly, the best of those movies is also their last one, and that was Blue Beetle.
I still haven't seen it.
I
want to.
adored that movie.
I really enjoyed Blue Beetle.
I've heard really good things about it, and I want to see it. And I noticed somebody, Gage, didn't you tell me there's like a minor reference to Martian Manhunter with the cookies?
Yes, the Oreo cookies.
Yeah. No, if you're a fan of like Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, like,
yeah.
But they also do like all the Blue Beetles, so you have Dan Garrett referenced in there, and it just it was very. And the reason why I think Blue Beetle worked the best because it was closest to the Marvel template.
Yeah, and that's what everybody says. It's like an early Marvel film, which is probably the best era of Marvel because it was before everything got bogged down and there was so much corporate control.
Yeah, just and then I mean, getting back to the Flash.
Yes,
there's bits in it that I appreciate,
like poop,
but like. I did enjoy seeing Keaton's Batman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No,
but it wasn't the same Keaton's Batman. Like,
no, it wasn't.
It's like everything. It's kind of like a monkey paw because everything that I liked in the movie, I got 2 things that I didn't really like.
Yeah, no, it's Yeah, it's the knock on the door that's your zombie son coming to eat you because you wished he was back. It, my thing about the Keaton stuff is, all right, first off, the scenes where it's just him and Barry, like our Barry talking, not dumbass Barry, not 90s Shasta McNasty Barry, but the one that we know. The ones where they're talking and having a serious discussion, those scenes are great.
Oh yeah.
I adore those scenes, and they're the best thing about the movie.
And yeah, the other bright spot in the movie for me, because I would definitely agree with you there. Even though I never really liked this version of Barry, like not
That's
my
fair.
favorite Barry at all.
I didn't hate him as much as a lot of people did, but
yeah, it's just I wasn't a fan of this Barry, and then of course like everything going on with the actor and everything like that. But
I managed to put that out of my head for the most part,
Yeah.
except for
yeah,
the
like
baby
I
in the
didn't hold
microwave.
that against them in the performance, but like
Yeah. Except for the baby in the microwave part, because I'm like, I'm willing to wager Ezra Miller did this. Like, he has put a baby in a microwave and had to be talked down before.
There's so much that person did. I feel like the baby in the microwave is just the tip of the iceberg.
right. Sasha Callie, I think that's her name, who played Kara.
She was good.
Yeah,
I really
I would have
enjoyed
liked to
her.
have seen more of her.
I would have liked to have seen a movie with her, yeah.
Yeah. And then just the thing that bothered me most, I think the first reaction that I had to the movie after I got out of it, it was like, where the hell are the rogues?
Okay, that's fair. Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, because that's the thing with Flash, like, if I were to name the top 3 rogues galleries in comics, number 1 is Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I would put the rogues from Flash's rogues at number 2, and I'd put Spider-Man's rogues gallery at number 3. And just to do a Flash project
Without a single one.
yeah, like the only rogue we ever got, really, I think, was Captain Boomerang in the Suicide Squad. Which, by the way, the Suicide Squad, James Gunn's, is the best movie in the DCEU. By the way,
yes,
It's
absolutely.
by far my favorite DC movie.
But yeah, for sure. But like, yeah, I mean, here's the thing: it's a Flash movie, and you don't once mine Captain Cold, Mirror Master, Captain Boomerang,
Weather
Gorilla
Wizard.
Grodd. Yeah, exactly.
of
Golden
them.
Glider.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all these great villains that are just not used to do this interconnected Superman thing. And like, if they had done it like this Elseworld sort of thing later on, I think it would have worked better. But for a Flash movie, the first Flash movie I want needs to have a rogue in it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
Yeah.
fully agree.
As an outsider looking in, because I haven't seen it yet, that sounds pretty right up. Sounds pretty logical to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want to. Why the fuck would you do Flashpoint first?
So, you want to know something interesting?
Sure, absolutely.
From what I understand, before this became Flashpoint, when Phil Miller and Lord Miller?
Just call him Lord and Miller, because I
Lord
can't
Miller.
keep
Yeah.
their names straight.
When they were involved, they had another person involved who moved on, but I think he worked on True Detective. The core idea was it was Flash against his entire rogues gallery.
Oh, see, I would have been in the line for that right off.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems like it might have been too much.
Yeah, I think that would be like a good second or third movie.
Sure,
like
but
you could have the rogue, like you could have a couple rogues at the beginning as like a cold open, have a main rogue or two working together. But yeah, like doing all of them, because that was part of the problem with that recent Spider-Man movie. Is like, okay, I mean that's
30 fucking villains, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, that's fair.
but it was still good though.
I still would have gone to see it just because it
Yeah.
had rogues, but yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I guess my issue is that I'm a huge fanboy of Captain Cold. Like he's one of my favorite villains just in general. Like he was the highlight of the CW Flash for me when Wentworth Miller was playing Captain Cold.
That's
Agreed.
true.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, like I really think Grant Gustin should have gotten his theatrical
I could see that.
chance.
I mean, I did not have a problem with him as the Flash.
He to me is like a great Barry Allen. Say what you will about like the writing around the character and like
Oh no, he's
how
a
they
good
kind of
actor.
marginalized him in his own show, but like Grant Gustin has that Barry Allen feel to him.
No, I've seen like the first like 3 or 4 seasons of the Flash series, and yeah, I agree. He was a pretty good Flash.
I actually never had a problem with any of the actors on that show.
Yeah.
I just felt like you say it's a CW show, so
They definitely had to bring it down to a price point for their budget.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now I gotta ask a question for Gage real quick. Now we've gone on to our thoughts on this movie. Gage, tell us your overall feelings. Talk about this movie.
So I'm definitely not under the opinion of it's the worst DC movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is somewhere. It's definitely in the bottom. It's like how David feels about it. There are aspects to it that I really really like, and personally, I think I could enjoy it as like a background noise movie or a so bad it's good movie in some ways.
I'd almost put it there, but like it's just there's so much it just made me angry.
The thing is, the movie didn't make me angry. I laughed a lot.
Yeah, and when you did that, I was sneering. So
Yeah. Like I don't mind Ezra Miller. I think
yeah,
the material they got to work with wasn't the best, but I don't know. There's a lot of things in this movie that really works and just really does not work. Like the director, for instance, there was something I picked up on the second time we were watching this, Kevin, and I think I told you about it. There is a weird thing that they do with food in this movie. Whether it's a vomiting gag or a zoom in on somebody eating a hot dog. Mm-hmm. The director even shows up in a scene and is trying to eat a hot dog.
Yeah.
And, well, you know, the baby sequence when he has to recharge his, calories.
Do you think he has a feeder gainer fetish?
I could see it because this weird thing started to show up at some points in this is the director of It. The newer
I'm trying
movies.
I'm trying to remember if it had any of that kind of food focus to it.
Chapter 2 did.
Yeah,
I
don't remember
it.
it.
Was very toned down. Yeah, like it wasn't super apparent, but there was like I don't know, it's like very weird little quirky things. Like it's like characters doing something and it just seems really gross. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. It's a very kind of like tactile sensation when food is involved. Like I'm thinking of like in like when Batman's talking about, you know, spaghetti as the multiverse and that sort of thing. It's very textural.
Yeah.
And it's also real sloppy.
The sound effects associated with it were like very
Who was the director again? What's his name?
His name is Andy Muschietti.
I think he goes to clipsforsale.com. I think he's buying like fetish videos for like $14 a pop of girls putting their feet in spaghetti and stuff.
We need to label that this is parody. This is not actually what is happening. Do not sue us.
No, this is no. I'm not saying that's happening, but like I could see him doing that.
I like him as a director. Like
I love the 2 It movies.
Yeah, and there are some standout moments in The Flash. I actually think that there are some good moments written on paper. It's just the execution is and some of the execution you can chalk it up to some of the bad visual effects. Like I love the whole idea of the third act fight.
Right. With Zod and everything.
Yes, it just looks like a video game cutscene. Also, Kevin, how did you feel about Zod's use in the movie?
I was okay with it, actually. Believe it or not, I did not have a problem with Zod being there or anything because it was a callback to what happened, and, it's a time travel story, and I'm like, interesting point to go to.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Story-wise, I didn't have a problem with that being like, one of the major deals. If I had a problem with that sequence, it was I don't know. I just hate Shasta McNastaberry.
Who?
The shitty berry, the one no one likes.
Oh, berry. I thought you were saying like berry, like as in blueberry.
No. and for those that don't know, Shasta McNasty was a terrible 90s sitcom that came on the WB.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And this Barry just looks like he came from that, or he's like, I don't know, like from that's what I call music 90s edition commercial.
Oh, that's who I call Barry.
Yeah, there you go. It's
Well,
and sorry, go ahead.
The whole Zod thing, like, I guess it works for this take on the Flash, but again, like, my question is like, why Zod?
Yeah, but if you're gonna ignore the rogues and you're gonna do a time travel thing, Man of Steel is kind of the point where heroes first show up, so it makes sense to have it happen there. So yeah, I guess if I had another problem with the movie, it would be other Barry. I did like that. Our Barry couldn't stand him.
Yeah, I love that there was a moment where he's like our Barry is just like, wow, is this how I am 24/7? And then it's just once he meets other Barry, our Barry just becomes like the least annoying person in the movie.
Yeah, I do like the part where he's like, oh God, I'm starting to understand how people feel about me. And the thing I hated the most, absolutely despised, was the tooth. The entire bizarre plot point about when he gets struck by lightning and loses his powers and his front tooth flies out.
I just love that he super glues it
and
back.
he glues it back.
He just glues it back.
I fucking hate that because I've had so many nightmares about my teeth falling out. And it set off something visceral inside me. And then when George Clooney shows up at the end, spoiler, and the tooth falls out. First off, it looks cheap, shitty, and CG fake. Second, here's my nightmares again.
Also, that's the end. Like, that is the frame that they end the movie on and then cut to credits to, is that tooth falling out. And I'm like, this just sums up the movie perfectly.
It's the visual equivalent of hearing ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba.
What's Barry gonna do now?
Yeah, and then you hear boo as the thing Iris is in, and the Looney Tunes music starts. That's how it should have ended, actually.
I did appreciate the Speedy Gonzalez reference.
Yes.
Which you don't see that character reference very much, which is unfortunate because every Mexican person who I've talked to loves Speedy Gonzalez.
Oh, yeah, no. And Warner Bros. Is like, he's offensive. No, they love him.
No, Speedy's fucking cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, Speedy's friends with my sister. Speedy's friends with everybody's sister. Yeah, no, it's great stuff. It's a fantastic fucking cartoon, and they're way better than the Flash.
It's a better Flash. A Speedy Gonzalez Merry Melody short is a better movie than the Flash.
Wow.
That's not wrong. So,
no.
But yeah.
I don't know. Like, I feel weird about how this whole DCEU thing shook out because, like, if you were to talk to me in the high school and say, oh yeah, Marvel's going to have like this interconnected cinematic universe and these characters are going to be big names, I would have been like, okay, yeah, so DC is going to be right up there with them, right? And just...
You would hope.
It's the Padme Anakin meme, right?
Yeah, right. I am... So, looking ahead to the future, like, first of all, I do want to mention that there is apparently a tentative agreement with the Writers Guild to end the strike.
I heard that. So, I hope so. It's going to be voted on. We'll know by like Tuesday or Wednesday.
I believe they are voting Tuesday.
Yeah. So, fingers crossed. Let's hope there's some motion there. But, like, it's really making me optimistic about, like, the future of DC under James Gunn, because
Oh, yeah.
like he can be an acquired taste for some people. You know, you always have to have that third act dad rock sequence.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's my favorite part of most of his movies because that's the music I grew up with.
But like everything that I've seen about his approach so far is good, and it weirds me out, like, because there are like people who have this like Snyder agenda or whatever it is, who are like, oh yeah, you know, the first James Gunn DC project, Blue Beetle, failed. It's like,
that wasn't him.
It wasn't his project.
That was way before he took over. Yeah.
But like, you know, I am looking forward to the future of DC. This is the most optimistic I've felt ever since like they announced they were doing a Flash movie. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, no, the Flash is going to be good, and look how that turned out. But
yeah.
But like I'm optimistic about the road ahead, and I'm hoping that it works out.
Sure.
Granted, I there are a lot of things I did appreciate about the DC universe we've had. Like I've always liked Henry Cavill as Superman.
Oh yeah, I like Cavill, and I'm gonna go out on a limb here. A lot of people will argue with me on this, and people were amazed I say this. I actually like Man of Steel.
Yeah, I was disappointed by Man of Steel.
See, I went in after hearing all the bad stuff, and I'm like, you know, all the complaints, I mean, within the story, it actually, all of it sort of adds up and makes sense, except for Paul Kent being like, no, don't save me, and then getting sucked into a tornado.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Fuck that. Other than that, though, I really liked the movie.
Yeah, I've been trying to get you to watch that for a while.
Yeah, and then we watched it, and I'm like, I hate it because I love it. What the fuck?
Yeah, Cavill, I'll give Cavill credit, like, he's good, it's just the stuff he was given to do. Yeah.
My problem isn't with that movie, it's with everything after that movie, especially Batman v Superman.
See, for me, it all started with Man of Steel. Like, they did some stuff in like, number one, Man of Steel was too gloomy looking.
Okay.
And I don't want that in a Superman movie.
Sure.
I want, like, my Superman bright blue, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand, but given that it was a James Gunn movie, I was like, well, this is the best we're gonna get.
Snyder.
Oh, Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder.
No.
Who did I say?
You said James Gunn.
I am so sorry, Zack Snyder.
Yeah, those two could not be further apart.
No, it's completely different people. It's like one guy is a big fan of comic books. The other guy is Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Who technically he is a big fan of comic books. He interprets them differently,
and not the ones I like. Apparently, no.
That was my complaint with the Snyder Superman movies too. It's like, Superman is supposed to be optimistic, and sure there's going to be dark times, but he's supposed to show
he's
the way.
He's a paragon.
Yeah, he's a
paragon.
Like even to pull you out.
Even the costume being muted was a big deal to me.
No, I understand that, but I managed to get past that and enjoy the movie, which that says a lot that I enjoyed it.
I'm not saying it was a bad movie, but I think it was like a suboptimal Superman depiction.
And that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, it's just that like DC at the time took all the wrong lessons from Marvel.
Yeah,
because in their rush to get like their big team movie out, it's like, well, in the second Superman movie, let's bring in Batman. It's like, well, no, you introduce Batman with a solo story.
Yeah. So Superman, he can have, his dark moments, but I think by the end of the movie, he has to be like pulling himself out, because that's kind of like
he was starting to.
Superman.
Like the way they ended Man of Steel, it was a good setup for the next one. He's going to be closer to Superman, and then they did Batman v Superman and just flushed that down the shitter. So,
and the other thing is they Zack Snyder loves his Jesus parallels, and like that's not Superman. Like Superman would reject that shit outright. Like he doesn't see himself as a savior. He's just a guy, doing a job, doing the best he can. But like the fact that like Snyder leans into this whole Jesus thing with Superman, it's like, well, no, that's not really the character.
Yeah, which it's funny that My Adventures with Superman nails the character so much better. But
so good.
Oh god,
I know.
That show's amazing.
Yeah, I know.
I realized that I had watched all of this season, I was like, fuck.
Yeah,
Like I haven't been that entertained by Superman since like the DC animated universe with Bruce Timm and Paul Dini.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I think Paul Dini doesn't get enough credit. Neither did Kevin Kevin Altieri.
Altieri. Yeah.
Yep.
Like it's weird how I can name all these creative people behind like the DC animated universe, but it's because they put in the fucking work, dude.
Yeah, no, and they were praised, rightly so.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah.
so I guess the question I have then is like if you had to give a letter grade to the Flash, like what grade would you two give it?
Okay, Gage, you go first.
I would give it a C+, just because I can still have fun with it despite its flaws.
That is a lot higher than I'm going.
C- on some days.
Okay, D minus.
I was expecting an F.
No, because it's not Aquaman.
Brother,
Which is
you have
weird because
not.
Aquaman is one of the better
I was
DC
gonna say,
Whatever.
I've never had. I mean, I would not call Aquaman a great movie, but I never had the problem a lot of people have. with it.
My rage was palpable.
Look, Kevin, I promise you, Aquaman would be dethroned if you saw the 2016 Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah, okay, that's fair, but I haven't seen that.
Oh my
haven't?
gosh.
I didn't
No,
realize you never saw.
no,
Oh my
no.
gosh.
I never saw.
Damaged.
I never saw Suicide Squad.
Damn it.
I saw The Suicide Squad, which was a fantastic fucking movie.
I mean, I can't, fault you. I mean, there's no reason to go back and watch it now, but I just didn't realize at the time you hadn't seen it.
Oh yeah, no, I'd rather rewatch Birds of Prey.
I like that movie. Leave her alone.
That one wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I'd give that a C.
That is a B.
I don't like how they handled the youngest Batgirl.
Cassandra Cain?
Cassandra Cain.
Yeah, Cassandra. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not
She had
huge
such
on
a-
their take on her, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah, well, I mean, her character in the comics is so interesting, and they just kicked the shit out of it.
It's a fun Cassandra, but the way that I view all these movies is they're Elseworlds.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they're gonna have to be.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, I would probably give The Flash probably about a C, like, because if it were on in the background or whatever, I would probably watch it again just for the bits that I like.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see Keaton again. There's
See,
little
that's
bits
fair.
with, there's the bit at the beginning with the hospital, aside from the baby in the microwave, is pretty
That-
fun.
It is fun. The
no,
CG is terrible, but it is very fun to me.
There's only one good part of that sequence, and that is Alfred going, "Babies." Just that part where he's like in a panic because babies are falling out of a building, and he's just babies. Like hearing Jeremy Irons do that was just a treat.
We didn't mention Ben Affleck.
I like Batfleck. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't
okay.
like the movies he's been in, but I liked him as Bruce Wayne and Batman, and I'm a little sad we're not gonna get any more.
Like, he had the best bat suit up until I saw the Robert Pattinson bat suit.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like Pattinson's bat suit, but I like the textured fabric of because that's my thing with like so many Batman adaptations, it all ends up looking armored,
Yeah.
and it doesn't make sense for a ninja
Yeah.
because Batman's
Sure.
a ninja.
Yeah.
So like it just and it's also why I prefer the DC animated universe because like it's just fabric. It doesn't make sense
Yeah.
because it's so skin tight, but you don't care because it looks like Batman.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think we've talked enough about the Flash. I'm done.
You wanted to speed through that, huh?
Oh, that's terrible, Gage.
And it really speed forced it, didn't we?
Oh God.
Getting flashbacks to
Flashbacks.
yeah. PS2 Henry Cavill.
Oh boy.
The Flash is dead, bury it. Or should I say bury Alan?
Oh, bite me. So
Let's run to the next subject.
yeah, wait, you're the host, David. You decide who goes next.
Yeah, exactly. And I want Mike to go next.
Okay.
I will kill you all.
I don't like this
Wow,
subject.
I don't. I feel
This is an
bad.
interesting way to bring up a
So-
conversation.
Yeah, so this week I haven't had a whole one singular thing
Sensation.
that I've done a lot of. Yes, I mean I watched here. Trying to think, what did I do? What did I watch? What did I play?
Did you watch Ahsoka?
I watched Ahsoka. Yes, I mean I could talk about that. I guess episode 4, 3, 4, 5, 7. I don't remember.
20 million.
The most
I don't
recent episode is
Most
6.
recent six.
Six.
Okay. Yeah, the one with the hermit crab people.
know.
You know, I feel
Oh.
like we don't have to worry about spoiling this stuff because, like,
If you're listening to this, you're watching stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
if
yeah,
you-
we just
we'd
mentioned
like to
the
think.
blueberry in the room.
Yeah.
You know those unless you up until the point where they happen, you wouldn't I wouldn't call that a
Yeah.
spoiler really, but there will be more spoilers from here on out.
Right.
So we finally see the man, the myth, the legend, Ezra.
Which
Not
it's funny
Ezra
you put it
Miller
that
either.
way because
This is the
I
second
am
story in a row with an
so-
Ezra.
Yeah.
I am so excited to see Ezra. He's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. Like I love Ezra. I am so looking forward, especially some of the details on the costuming. But I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't notice anything other than he looked like a Jesus hobo.
Okay,
I jumped
number
out of
one,
my
he has a
seat.
sling strapped to him,
Okay.
like in the biblical era sling. And remember, he started the show with a slingshot, right?
He did.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
a cool.
Yes.
Mhm.
But
Nice
also
little
his,
callback.
his
David and Goliath,
armor,
kind of.
His armor.
his armor is stormtrooper dog tags.
Like the whole thing is stormtrooper dog tags. I'm like, well, that would be why your numbers are diminished, sir.
So you think of like Ezra living on this planet, just taking out stormtroopers.
Mike, there's
Like
an
that-
image of it in our Discord.
I was just wondering.
If you,
It's dope as hell. Like
Yeah.
and especially because he doesn't have his lightsaber. So
Yeah.
I think we're getting like Force Kung Fu.
See, I noticed like he was wearing something metallic-y under his Jesus hobo robes.
right.
So yeah.
So
He does look like biblical Jesus.
he looks like Moses.
Or one of the other ones. He's like either Paul or
John or Ringo.
That's
Paul-
not
Yeah,
They
Wow.
even
Or
got the
John Ringo,
scars on his cheek. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yep.
or the other one.
The other one.
Yeah.
Noah?
No.
There's like 12 of them.
Damn it.
One of the biblical fathers.
But
can't remember
no, of
now.
course, also
That's
like
fine.
The bad
Thrawn.
one.
The bad one.
The one that betrayed Jesus.
Oh, Judas.
Judas?
Judas. I can't believe I couldn't remember Judas.
He prefers it that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, well, that was the end. But so here's the most important question. How much does everyone love the bat dog horse, and would you want one as your own pet?
Okay. I want to go first on this, all right?
Okay.
The bat dog horse. My immediate thought was, oh, look, another fucking wolf from Dave Filoni.
Thanks, Filoni.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for another goddamn show with another goddamn wolf.
Space
I can't
wolf.
I can't thank you enough.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's a fun little signature. As long as he's having fun with it,
Kevin.
I'm having fun with it.
Kevin, and 10 minutes later, you were like, I will die for this animal.
Not exactly.
Oh,
I
you-
liked it.
When I came up and you
Yes.
started talking about it, it's like,
But-
I was like, I would do anything for this.
I
dog.
didn't say I would do anything for this dog. I said I suddenly like this dog, but my comment is it's another wolf. And I'm just glad it's not wearing Filoni's hat.
Well, Holly and I had that same thing. We were watching, and then we both kind of look at each other when the wolf gets introduced, and we just kind of look at each other and go, Filoni.
Yeah. Yep.
But I appreciate that. Like, we can make all sorts of jokes about some of like the weird things that Star Wars does, but like Filoni having his wolves, like I just find it cute.
I guarantee you he has a t-shirt of 3 Wolf Moon somewhere in his closet.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he does.
I'm sure, no, Kevin, he has like dozens of wolf T-shirts. Remember,
Oh.
we used to
There
have a
is-
friend that had
Yes.
nothing but wolf T-shirts.
And posters of Three Wolf Moon.
There is going to be a Three Loth Wolf
Oh, God.
T-shirt out there. There has to be.
Has to be. Can I bring up something about this show real quick with Thrawn,
Okay.
which Thrawn is finally introduced.
What,
Ooh.
you mean my observation about him?
What about him?
It's blue Elon Musk.
Okay, I wasn't going to bring that up, but that is a very good point. I was going to let you bring that up. Someone else said, hey, blue data.
I see it.
No, more. I think he looks more like Elon Musk than Data.
No, I can see the data thing, but he definitely looks like Space Elon.
He looks more like Elon Musk than he does look like a Facebook guy.
Here's the thing, like
That's fair.
Thrawn, he's older now. Like when we
Oh, yeah.
last saw him, it was like 10 years. He's probably in his like 60s or 70s, right?
Well, he's got a bit of a gut, and I was like, that is a man that's been living in this Star Destroyer for
Also-
like a decade.
Also, he's been eating way better than his stormtroopers.
Damn
Probably
straight.
eating some of his stormtroopers.
That's a good point.
But it's one, because here's the thing, like with Star Wars, like I can't help but look at what like the fandom posts about stuff, and there were so many people bitching that Thrawn wasn't like 6'4" and cut, and I'm just like, that doesn't make sense
It doesn't
for the
matter.
situation.
It doesn't matter either.
Yeah.
And also, he's like, he's never been a physical person.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about the descriptions in the books, but from
Yeah, I
what
never read those.
What I gather is he's an intellectual, and intellectuals generally don't like working.
Yeah,
out.
look at us.
He was about as physical as Tarkin was, because actually, like Tarkin, like did this because I read the canon books and everything like that. So Tarkin, like he would like put himself like every couple of years on a survival planet and just survive for like a week. And that's kind of the same thing. Like that kind of level of fitness is what like Thrawn would have, because you see Thrawn
Right.
working out in Rebels.
Yeah.
And he's doing like martial arts stuff, but yeah, he's not like
Yeah, but you don't have
He's
to.
not
be cut
jacked.
and
he's not
jacked.
Batman.
You know,
Right.
There are plenty of people out there who are fit and strong and basically have dad bods.
Yeah, you ever see those powerlifting competitions? They don't look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. They are big old boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of having some fat on you is a very advantageous thing for, strength purposes.
Yeah.
Not a lot,
Well,
there is such a thing as too much, but having a little bit, of reserves is not a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, and for my money, I think like they nailed what Thrawn would be like at this time, surviving in another
yeah.
galaxy at his age. Like there's this moment where Sabine says like something about Ezra or the Force or something like that, like that like Ezra survived or something, and then I don't quite remember the line, but there's a way that Lars Mikkelsen says perhaps not, which is just so Thrawn.
What it is when she talks about coming to save Ezra, and he's like, you would jeopardize your entire galaxy for this one person, and she says yes, or she says you wouldn't understand, and he says perhaps not.
That's exactly it. Yeah, just the way that he delivered
No, that was great. That was the most this is a fucking alien moment.
Well, and it's not just that, but it's also because like as a character, like, so how familiar are you with the character of Thrawn outside of like the shows?
He was the blue guy on the cover of them books.
So Thrawn is like basically if Sherlock Holmes existed as an
Empire.
Imperial moth.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I
But-
took it more of as just him being like
Clinical.
being the empathy and the personal connection there being so alien to him.
Yeah.
I think for I would argue that from that standpoint, while Star Wars does have a lot of aliens, none of them act alien. They're all very human faceted.
Yeah.
And so I think Thrawn's, incomprehension of that is more talking to his character than to his species.
Okay, that's fair.
It's more like this idea of faith being an uncertainty to him, because Thrawn is very practical. He's very He likes having all the facts. Like he talks to Morgan Elsbeth and goes like, "I need all the facts about Ahsoka Tano," right?
Right.
So just the idea that there's something that he can't control, he just says, perhaps not. Like because he recognizes that there are things that he just does not that can't
Understand.
factor into
Yeah.
his equation.
Right.
Yeah, but good performance. I gotta
Yes.
say.
No argument there. I do want to come back to the crab guys.
The crab trailer park.
Crab people.
Can I say one thing about Thrawn?
Yeah,
real quick?
absolutely.
Yes, please.
So I have not gotten to him in Rebels yet. I'm still halfway through season 2 of Rebels, and just from that one appearance alone in this show told me everything I needed to know about that character. Like, I thought the performance was that good, and the
Yeah.
characterization was that good.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean
really
that's
liked
kind of
that.
like
Yeah.
what you have to do for a show.
Yeah.
I've heard some complaints that Ahsoka basically, it's hard to watch for somebody that hasn't seen Rebels. And while I've seen Rebels and maybe a little colored on that, I don't see anything that was impenetrable for somebody that hasn't
Yeah.
seen Rebels. I mean,
Well,
sure, you don't
and-
get the full backstory,
Yeah.
but I think the meat of, who these characters are comes through.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you get enough from the show, and then again, like we're 6 episodes into an 8-episode season. More is going to be revealed. We're going to get more.
Yeah.
But like for the people who haven't seen Rebels, I think there's enough to follow. My dad's following it. He may have a question here and there, but like for the people who do follow it, I'm gonna embarrass Holly here. She was crying when Sabine and Ezra saw each other again.
Yeah,
She
no,
had
that
never
was
I
seen
saw the tears.
well.
Yeah.
I've got another viewpoint from someone else. One of my friends was watching it with his wife, and her comment was, "I don't give a shit because I don't know who any of these fucking people are." I was like, "That's actually fair."
That can be fair, yeah.
I don't know. I think I don't know, it just sounds. I've known those people that they could watch 20 episodes of something and they still wouldn't get it.
That's fine.
Yeah, I
But
think
I
if you look
understand
at it
the
from the terms,
argument.
Like I could see that for the first 1 or 2 episodes where they're kind of throwing oh well Ezra this and that, but
Yeah.
I think if you look at it from the terms of, like, I know the show is called Ahsoka, and it's going to matter that Ahsoka's there in the long run, but I think our point of view character in this is Sabine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Sabine has the clear goal. We follow her. She makes the difficult choice and everything like that. So I think there's enough with Sabine's quest that kind of gives you that main narrative through line that anyone can follow. And then everything else is that, like, hook for, like, oh, so there's more going on, or I wonder how this person is involved.
that kind of like makes me think of a problem I have thought of with these Star Wars shows is they're pretty much all have been named after a character, right? I can't think of any
Right,
that
right.
aren't.
It's like
Right.
Disney naming stuff like Tangled and Kanto, just like one word title.
Well, but so they're named after a character,
The
but
Mandalorian,
Yep,
Book
but
of
they're-
Boba Fett. Yeah.
except for like the Mandalorian is questionable whether it's all. I mean, it's not all about Din Djarin. None of them have been, except for maybe Obi-Wan, and that might be a shortfall of the show Obi-Wan, have been really exclusively about the character they're named
Yeah.
after. Like like we have Ahsoka, which like you said is follows Ahsoka a lot, but it's not exclusively.
It'd be
Oh,
like
but-
naming the Hobbit Gandalf.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
The,
you.
the book of Boba Fett, sure, there's a lot of Boba Fett, but there was a
It-
fucking lot of Mando
It
too.
really turned into the Mandalorian season whatever point 5.
2.5.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I'm looking forward to Skeleton Crew, because it sounds so
Same.
much different than everything else.
It's not a complaint about the shows. It's just kind of like they should have named them less character specific.
Sure.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
Like if they had named like the Mandalorian, like I don't know.
The Mandalorians or
They
something.
could
That
have
would
just called
actually work.
Ahsoka Heir to the Empire.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I understand they may be working toward like an heir to the Empire
Oh yeah, that's the
thing.
plan. They're doing a crossover movie.
Yeah. Well, okay. Here's the thing. There's two things I need to bring up about this episode of Ahsoka. Number one, I love the guy that played Ezra. All
Yes.
right?
Oh my god.
Because like, like, okay, I'm not really bit. What's her name that plays Hera?
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
It doesn't work for me for some reason.
It works for me.
Yeah, I bet it does. But the point is,
I actually have a funny story about that because my dad and I were talking about like Ahsoka, right? And then he's like he's talking to me about like Mary Elizabeth Winstead, couldn't remember her name, and it's like, well, how did you? I asked him like, how did you recognize her? And he's like, oh, from the back.
She's got a nice bottom.
yeah, one of our friends referred to her as dump truck.
I feel like I also have said that.
You
at one
did
point.
actually.
The first night we were watching it.
Yeah, but
All I know is that Obi-Wan Kenobi is a lucky man.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, anyway, my point is, while some of the actors playing these roles don't work for me, the guy they had playing Ezra fit the character like water in a glass.
Nails the positivity.
It's
of
like-
him so well.
It's like Ezra from the cartoon just walked out of the cartoon. That's how I
Yeah.
feel with this guy. I like him. He is great. I can't wait for more of him. Number two, the crab people wearing clothes. How do they get the clothes on with a shell? That's
Kevin,
like
I
when the
told you how that
turtles.
works.
No, you can tell that in a second, but it's like when the turtles in the Turtles cartoon wore a Hawaiian shirt that was somehow behind their shells.
These are hermit crab people, right? People keep calling them like turtle people. Like
They're
no,
not turtles.
hermit
They're
crabs.
crabs.
They're hermit crabs.
They're hermit crabs. And Gage, before I go on, could you please tell your theory on how they get the clothes on?
So my theory is that they can take the shell off to change clothes or do whatever they need to do, but they have a very limited time window to do that, or else they just die. They just fall down dead.
The fashion industry in their culture has a very high attrition rate.
Yes.
Yeah,
They're all dressed like residents from the Shire.
they are. And my problem is, I'm going to wager they didn't know what the fuck clothes were until Ezra got there and taught them shame.
Well, my counterpoint though was that they're dressed way better than Ezra. Like
No.
Ezra looks like a shabby Jesus hobo.
Yes,
where
but-
they're wearing waistcoats and vests.
And I still think he threatened them into inventing that shit quick. And he dresses like he's dressing because he is their Jesus.
Now, Ezra doesn't give a crap about clothes.
My theory is he brought them shame.
What if Ezra
Well, and
was
it
the
was
one?
so spot on for like we get it reintroduced to Ezra with him like palling around with these aliens and he's probably been hanging out with and protecting. It was very, very Rebels.
It was.
Just
it was.
these little aliens and like okay, of course Ezra's hanging out with the hermit crab people.
It's like if he went and lived with loath cats, which I still think I would have been I would have been okay with that.
Yeah,
Like him living with a tribe of cats.
I want a loath cat.
I know they're adorable.
I hope Ryder Azadi is taking care of that loath cat in Hera or Sabine's tower.
Better be.
Yeah, you better.
Right.
Um,
Is he safe? Is he safe?
Yeah,
Where is loath cat? Is he safe?
But yeah, no, like I think Ahsoka's been a lot of fun. Like I'm getting a lot out of it because I've seen all of the shit.
yeah.
But
So-
I think for people who aren't even super connected to it, like, you know, based on my limited exposure talking to people,
sure.
like,
And
I think it's working.
do you
I
want
think
me?
it's
Do you want me to piss you off?
yeah, go for it.
It makes me bored.
Yeah, well then again, you say that about everything.
I know, and it's just one of those things. I've been watching. I'm just like, why am I bored?
I've never been bored watching it.
It's me. I don't know. I think it's something
no,
with
no,
Filoni
we know that you
and his
process
live
things
action.
differently.
I think it's something with Filoni and live action. I don't know. I really don't. But it just, and I'm upset with myself for it because I really want to like it. But like I'm just sitting there going, okay. Except for a few things. Like there are times where I do get excited. Like Ezra, I am like, okay, now I'm excited. Let's see what's going on here.
Kevin doesn't like mood and setting.
That's not true.
I still feel
Screw this plot advancement.
I still feel really bad that you didn't enjoy episode 5 as much as I wanted you to, because
Yeah.
I was like
Yeah.
in heaven watching that.
I flipped my shit seeing Rex in live action.
Yes.
Like, and it's just, again, it's just a costume. But Rex, like, I love the clones and I love Rex. So just getting that, like, you know, him with the dual pistols and shit, I'm just like, yes, I'm in.
Yeah, and
See-
and it's me. I'm broken. I know
Seeing Anakin in the General Skywalker armor made
that.
me giggle
I
like
was
a little
happy about.
schoolgirl.
I was happy to see that because the whole time I've bitched the whole time that they should have carried that over into the movies.
You know what's also, like, I don't know if you guys knew this, but the actress who played young Ahsoka, she was also in the Barbie movie, and she was also young Gamora in the
Yeah.
Infinity War and Endgame
Really?
movies. She's
Yeah.
got a hell of a career ahead of her. Fuck.
Oh yeah. She definitely gets more to do in the Barbie movie. I would say that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I still need to see that.
It is.
It's so
Same.
fun. It's so
It
fun.
really is. I
need to see
loved
it.
it a lot.
Yeah. I think Ryan Gosling kind of steals the show, which is kind of weird for like it being the Barbie movie, but
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling kind of runs with it. But
So
also like
It just means they need
the
to do
dude nails it.
they need to do a sequel with that's called Ken, but then have like Margot Robbie steal the show.
There you go.
There we go. There
They
we
have
go.
talked about doing an actual spin-off with Ryan Gosling, and I'm like, you know what? I would watch it.
Yeah, him and Michael Cera as Alan.
Yes.
Ken's
Oh my
friend.
gosh.
the one Alan.
Oh man,
There was the one guy.
man. We need to do a Barbie episode.
After all of us have seen it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it could be homework for Kevin and I.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
I'll happily rewatch it any chance I get.
Yeah, it's so good.
When does she
is
set
that
the bomb off, by the way?
Huh?
When does she set the bomb off in the movie?
Halfway in the 3-hour mark.
Okay, cool.
Wasn't that like 1944? Something like
Yep,
that?
that's it. Something like that.
Introducing Barbenheimer,
Yeah.
1999.
So Mike, this was ostensibly your section.
So
So you mentioned Ahsoka. Was there anything else you wanted to bring up?
I haven't played a lot of Starfield.
Mm,
That's been the only game I've really played this week
Yeah.
or last 2 weeks, really. But I don't know. I play it in fits and spurts. I'm enjoying it.
You.
I'm what can I say about Starfield?
you
I
mean
it's
Bethesda presents The Expanse?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a competent Bethesda game. I've not had any issues with it.
I had to uninstall it
Yeah.
until I upgrade.
Yeah, Kevin can't really play it because his computer is kind of jank. It's my old computer.
Yeah.
With a different video card. It's kind of insane that, for a Bethesda game, its system requirements are so high.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for updates.
But yeah, I've not. I mean, it's
I-
been the easiest early Bethesda game experience I've had, like with as far as jank goes. I mean, I'm afraid to say that they're learning. They're actually like polishing a game before it comes out.
You would think that. I've put in about 100 hours into the game.
I mean, and it
I
could be
think-
the early game, like there is
Yeah.
such a thing as polishing the first 50% and then just letting the other 50% dangle where it will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
a
will
penis.
probably have some of my own thoughts for next week because I'm about to jump into New Game Plus,
Yeah.
and that's gonna determine a lot about the game for me. So I will probably be a little more vocal about my
So I
experience.
have-
That'll give you more time to play it.
I won't say exactly how, but I have heard that the new game stuff is actually tied into the story.
It is.
And that I find fascinating because usually it's just kind of you're go ahead and start a new game,
But you have all your perks.
but this is a canon which
Yeah.
is pretty fascinating. I don't think I've ever seen that take before.
It's interesting, but it's also making me realize as I go through that, like, well, none of this matters in a weird way, which fits in with like what the story of the game is trying to express. but also it kind of ruins the game for me at spots. So like,
I
yeah,
can see
I'm
that.
gonna have some complicated thoughts on Starfield, and I'm gonna save those for
Right.
next week because I've plugged enough time into it where I'm allowed to bitch about it now.
Yeah, you're
Right.
definitely the furthest along in this. Trying to think what else have I done this week. I mean, I got a new bowling ball,
Ooh,
and I do a little league bowling here, and I've been using a 20-year-old more than 20 years old. I got it from a friend. It's a 16-pound hammer, and I mean not a ball. It's actually just a hammer I throw down the lane, and people get really mad about it. But no, it was way past its prime. It was like literally falling apart. Like it was got a bunch of scars on it from the ball return.
It's impressive.
So I finally ponied up and I bought a new. And it's a decent ball. It's not like the best you can get, but it's a Brunswick T-Force, which makes me think of like male testosterone supplements.
See, I was thinking of Mr. T and the T-Force, the comic from the
Or that
90s.
too. But it just, you're losing your hair, try new T-Force. And it's doing okay. Like so the other advantage is it's drilled for my hand, which
that
the
helps.
old ball wasn't. So it was always kind of like slightly too small. So I think the hand sizing being right is definitely helping. Although we went for a practice, we played some today, and God, did I suck today. Well, not that bad. 2 games were near my average. 1 game was well below my average, which is like right now my average is about 100 for the league. And today I bowled a 99. No, it was a 106, a 68, and a 99. So,
oh wow,
So, all right, but
yeah.
I'm no
I haven't been
fancy
bowling in
bowler.
forever.
Yeah,
Same.
Now
My
I want to
back-
go bowling.
yeah.
Yeah, well, if you can't, you should watch The Big Lebowski.
Yes.
There you
No,
go.
watching The Big Lebowski makes you want to bowl. In fact, that's how
Yeah.
we ended up bowling the first time.
Yeah, we watched The Big Lebowski, and we all said, fuck it, dude, let's go bowling. And we went bowling, and while we're bowling, I was like, I kind of want to go back and watch The Big Lebowski. And
Donnie, you're
everybody's
out of
like,
your element.
and we were all like, yeah, actually. And we realized we were kind of in a vicious cycle of eternally watching The Big Lebowski and then going bowling afterwards.
And then Scott found a league from when we started bowling, and then that just kind of snowballed into all this. And I bought a $100 bowling ball because
Yep.
why not? That's what you do, right?
Oh,
Yep.
hell yeah, man. Hell
But
yeah.
yeah, I think that's about all I have really.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then I guess what we will do is we will take a break, come back with my distractions, and then we will do a game. And yeah. So back
Awesome.
after these messages.
Hey, David, you know what makes our show great?
What's that, Kevin?
No ads. You know what would make it better?
What's that, Kevin?
Ads.
What if, and I'm just spitballing here, we do ads for independent creators at reasonable rates?
How reasonable.
Overly. How about $2 per episode pre-roll?
That is almost too reasonable.
Might as well go for it. Let's send everyone to the contact page for Supernatural Selection.
SupernaturalSelectionPod.com/contact?
Exactly. Just have them scroll down to the Advertise with Us section for more information.
That sounds great. Now let's record the ad.
Kevin,
Yes, David?
we just did. And we are back to the distraction hole. How are you gentlemen doing? It's been what, like 50 minutes, an hour since we started?
It's been an hour. Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
been a while.
I notice our shows tend to run a little long, but you know what?
Well-
Fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah, well, the rule I set for Supernatural Selection holds for the Distraction Hole. Episodes will be as long as they have to be.
Yeah, I agree. We're having fun. That's the most important part.
Look,
Yep.
I like long podcasts because they help me go to sleep.
Yep.
They help me work.
Zelda's saying hello.
She always does. Hello, Zelda.
Yeah, we will be getting a page for the podcasts going on the website.
Yes, we will, because there are several. Because everybody knows Ginger, because Mike picks her up and plays her like a bagpipe.
All right, gentlemen. So this time for mine, it's kind of a dealer's choice because
Ooh.
I had a pretty busy weekend going into Monday last week. So on Saturday, I started with a tabletop gaming group for a new game,
Neat.
and then on Monday I went and saw the Dodgers, the Los Angeles Dodgers. So
Not the
yeah,
Brooklyn
so,
Dodgers.
I could talk about either one of those, but I'm curious what you're interested in me talking about, because I could talk endlessly about either.
You know, I'm kind of torn because, you know me, I'm more interested in RPGs, but also, I have no experience with this sports, you call
Sports?
This
Sports?
ball?
it? Sports? So,
Well, has anyone here been to a baseball game?
I've
a Major League Baseball game?
never been to a baseball. We don't have
I-
any major league or national teams in
Well,
Jackson.
we have a minor league feeder team,
Yeah.
Jackson Braves, but I went to a Pittsburgh Pirates game when I was in Pittsburgh. It was part of a wedding I went to, and that was one of the activities that we had scheduled. I mean, I enjoyed it because, I just got to sit around with my friends and, drink and, eat hot dogs and, not pay attention to a baseball game.
Yeah, why don't you tell us about the game, David? That sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, so, I like sports more than you would think. I just tend to be, priced out of it, and I don't have time to follow them very closely.
Sure.
If I had, cable or whatever, yeah, I could see myself watching, following a team and everything like that and watching their games and stuff. It's just I don't have the time or money. But, so generally, I find sports fun. Now, is baseball my favorite sport? No. But, I still enjoy
Yeah.
it. And, for my first major league game, I got a really good game out of that, too. So, yeah, it was Monday. It was the Dodgers versus the Tigers. And the reason I had gone is because I have a friend. I've mentioned him on the show a couple of times, named Ambrose. He has a YouTube channel, In Your Face Studios, and
Right.
he likes to do these videos. He calls them Having Fun, where he'll just take people out and they'll do something for the day. Specifically, though, we were shooting a video rating hot dogs from Pink's and Dodger Stadium.
That's the most Discordian thing you've ever done.
Yeah, so Pink's is a classic Hollywood, hot dog place. We passed Paramount Studios. It was maybe 5 or 6 minutes away from the hot dog place. That's how in Hollywood we were for that.
Wow.
And yeah, we shot a video. I'll mention I'll probably post the video in the Discord when it goes up and everything like that. But yeah, so we did hot dog reviews. I do question the logic behind some of it, because for some reason our hot dog reviews only consisted of a hot dog with mustard. Which
Well-
if you're gonna compare hot dogs, I would assume you would do the most iconic version of the dog from each place. But yeah, I guess it's a control thing, or
So,
a control
with
group thing.
the full toppings, you mean?
Yeah. So I'm
Well,
talking about pickles, or
get
I'm
it.
sorry, relish and.
I understand, but honestly, a dog with mustard is your baseline.
Yeah, I guess so, but when I think of a hot dog, because when you look at a hot dog, because we're also supposed to rate the appearance, and again, a hot dog on a bun with some mustard, it looks like you'd expect. It's when you
Yeah.
put the other stuff on it, the onions and the relish and everything like that. That's when you that's where like the visual of a hot dog comes in for me.
So I would argue that if you're gonna judge a dog, should be judging it on their like kind of signature, what their like standard is. Like, and that's gonna vary a lot, but I think there's a lot of I can't think of the word. There's a lot of
right. Well,
a lot to say about the what toppings they choose to put forward.
Well, and then with the Dodger dog, you just basically get like a blank hot dog, and then you put on like the toppings yourself.
Yeah, it's just like a movie theater dog.
Yeah. But it's my friend's video. It was a lot of fun to shoot. Like I ate well, I'll tell you that much. Because he's also So like we started off at Pink's. Like the dog was good. Then we were just kind of killing time, right? Until like the gates opened at the stadium, because the gates wouldn't open until like 5 o'clock, I think. So we went to, I think it was Olivera Street, one of the older streets in LA. Took me by a place that Mexican food place, got a taquito with an amazing like avocado sauce. So good.
I love me a taquito.
And then we went to Philippe's, which is a like a deli style place, and had like French dip.
Damn, son.
Yeah. No, that's why I like going out with this guy, because
you get free food,
right? And then eventually the gates open, and then I'd never been to Dodger Stadium, so the two gentlemen I went with, Ambrose and Daniel, they're both big Dodgers fans. So, I'm getting all the stories are like, oh no, you need to check out Blue Heaven and everything like that. And like taking me around and showing me all the stuff. Like they have a museum built into the stadium. It's like Disneyland. It really is.
Wow.
And the scale of the place, just getting a chance to kind of like wander around and look at the scale of the operation. It's like, this is like, I get it. I get why it's so important to the city.
Yeah.
I get why it's so important to Los Angeles.
I mean, you have to commemorate stealing another city's team.
Exactly. But I've got my Dodgers hat, and I've been wearing it, and it's been, like, if I had the availability to watch baseball more regularly, I could see myself, like, following the season, you know what I mean? Because the game itself was a lot of fun to watch. Like, we were up kind of in the nosebleeds or whatever, but, like, it was a great view because I got to see the entire field, like, the ball, like, I could see the ball in the air.
Oh, that's cool.
It wasn't, like, too small. Like, the game itself, though, was good. It was 8-3, Dodgers versus Tigers. And I got to see, like, I think it's a triple play. Where, you have the bases loaded and then the guy does a home run. And
right. And then everybody runs the bases and makes it home.
So okay. I got to see that. That was dope as hell.
That's actually pretty cool.
And then I think it was the 7th or 8th inning, a fan jumped into the field. 6 security guys tackled him. Started carrying him off the field. He broke away for a second, so they had to tackle him again. But it's like, if I wanted a good, like, first Dodgers game to go to,
that was
it. Yeah. That was it. The older I'm getting, like, when I was a surly teenager in high school, like, I was always like, sports are stupid. But as I'm getting older, it's like, no, it's fun, and I wish, like, I wasn't priced out of all of this shit, because I would just like to be able to sit down and watch some of this stuff, like on a Sunday or whatever.
Okay. There are times I'm jealous of people that can do that, but, like, I'm not into baseball, and I definitely don't like football because, football meant the cartoons were over.
If I'm a sports guy, like, so speaking of sports stuff, like, one of the shows I'm watching right now, I'm currently almost done with season 2, is Winning Time, which is about the Showtime era of the Lakers. Back when Kareem and Magic,
right?
The
glory
and,
days.
Coach Jerry West and Pat Riley and everything like that. So, like, I've been enjoying the hell out of that, and I'm pissed that they canceled it, so we're not getting a season 3 because that show is yeah, that show is excellent, but it's like I like basketball. Basketball's great. I wanna go to a Lakers game for sure one day.
Sure.
And then I also like soccer, or as they call it in Europe, football.
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 The foosball.
Yeah. So
Boucher.
like oh, what sort of what like? So obviously, I don't think any of us here are like really big sports guys. I feel
No.
confident in saying that.
I am certainly not.
Not
But
really.
is there a sport, like, if you had the time and money to kind of follow it, like, what sport would it be?
I mean, I do enjoy like the cars. Like I like auto sports. But I don't know. In general, watching a game or any kind of like race or anything like that, like I could do it if I was like with people that were watching it. But it's not something I want to do. Strike out on my own and sit down by myself.
No, it'd be a
watch it.
thing like, hey, the game's on this Sunday.
Yeah.
Come over. Hell yeah, let's get some pizzas. Yeah.
Only sport type game I ever watched myself was the Saints at the Super Bowl, because
Right.
I grew up like up until I was 14. I lived in Louisiana, in the kind of New Orleans metro area. My parents were big Saints fans. My brother was a big Saints fan, and so when they went to the Super Bowl, I kind of felt it was my duty to watch the game, and I did. I watched. That's the last football game I watched like in its entirety.
Does your brother still have that hand painted thing on the back of his truck from when they won the Super Bowl?
No, because he doesn't have the same truck.
Oh, okay. I was just he had this hand painted wooden tailgate
Oh God, I forgot about that.
that was commemorating the Saints winning the Super Bowl, and it was certainly a statement.
Yeah,
on
I mean,
him.
it's-
I mean, I'm all for it.
yeah,
hell
no, it's fine. I was like, that is a very Bob
It's-
thing to do.
It was better than a reclining woman of questionable proportions,
Yes.
or the recursive painting of a truck of a painting of a truck of a painting of a truck. You've seen that, right?
Yes.
It's like there's a truck, and then there's a painting of that same truck on the tailgate.
With
and on
the painting of that
yeah.
truck, and it just goes down to microscopic levels, and Ant-Man's there.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing you should ever paint on a vehicle is a wizard.
Yes, a
Yes.
wizard riding a unicorn.
No, like there's always kind of like when the home team, right? Like you kind of feel them, but I think it's because it's the community thing. You know what I mean? Even if
Yeah.
you're not super into the sport, it's like
That
you
would
want to
be
feel
why I'm not
part of
into
it.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm not into it.
Okay, well, like, do you have any sports that you like, Kevin? Like, at all?
No.
Oh, okay. I mean that's fair.
Solitaire, I guess.
Bowling.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna watch bowling. I play bowling, but I don't watch bowling. Watching bowling is a statement on how sad you are. No, it's
Which
not
is
true.
weird because
That's not
bowling
true
was
at
like
all.
really big.
Yeah, I know, and that's an unfair statement on my part. I can see how people, in the same way I can see why people enjoy watching football and baseball and stuff. I can understand why someone would enjoy watching bowling, but
Can we all agree that watching golf is weird?
yes,
It's so boring to me. I don't.
It's one of those I'd
understand
rather
it.
play it. Yeah.
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 That I can understand. Like recreationally, like there was this thing I did during the summer where I would go to this club. I forget what it's called, but I would have to get myself involved in like tennis and golf and swimming. The country club.
Yeah.
It was something I like my parents wanted me to do, and I was like, yeah, sure, I guess I'll do it. I have friends there. And it was like kind of fun, but I wouldn't say like I loved it. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
For me, sports is just what's a different word that means a synonym? Sports is just a synonym for shame.
So, but then again, that's live music for you too.
Yeah, but like I didn't have to get up on stage and perform a lot while I was a kid, but I was forced to play sports into junior high school, and it was a nightmare, and I despised it.
I will say we have a Top Golf coming to our area, and I am really interested in checking that out because I haven't like swung a golf club.
Is that a putt-putt or something?
No, it's the opposite of putt-putt. It's like a driving range, but with like computers and shit.
Oh.
Yeah,
so it's like bowling but golf.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, Gage, do you have a sport that you're? Because you mentioned like doing like recreational stuff. Because I'm curious. Do you have a sport that you would follow?
Look, if I could, honestly, the only one I've the most I've enjoyed, probably is soccer. Like, I like sports that are aggressive. I guess that goes into my, violence, But, I think soccer is it's very aggressive, and it's constantly moving. There's hardly any pause.
Yeah, like every other sport can get really boring because there's a lot of downtime. I can see why soccer would be a lot more engaging.
Hockey is one of those I'd put up there as very
hockey
aggressive.
as well.
Actually, yes, I could. If there was one I was gonna watch, probably hockey.
Hockey is just ice soccer.
Hockey is just ice boxing. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's soccer with a golf club.
Right, and then occasional boxing.
Yes, and that reminds me, my favorite NES game was, one of them was Blades of Steel, where you're playing hockey, and then if you run up to another dude, it suddenly goes into a Street Fighter style game, and then goes back to being hockey. So... Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's cool. So soccer, I'm with you on that. Like, I don't like FIFA. I don't like FIFA because of human rights violations. But I know that one of my local cities is getting its own football club, and I'm like, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that.
I like the vibes of soccer.
I like Ted Lasso.
It's funny, I'm starting to get into the idea of maybe I should start taking in a couple Ducks games a year because I've been watching a lot of stuff that has hockey in it. So so Letterkenny and Shoresy, of course. But I also started watching.
Give your balls a tug, you tit fucker.
Allegedly.
God, I need to catch up. I think there's a season I haven't watched yet.
But I also watched The Goon with Sean William Scott, and that was really good too. And I'm
I've heard a lot of good things about that.
I'm thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm a hockey guy. Because I the fights. The fights are cool. Don't get me wrong. I'd be very excited for that. But also just the sport itself looks a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I might dive into that.
Sure.
Just watching it or something.
I think one of my other problems with sports, before we move on, is the fact that we live in an area of the country where a high school football coach's house is burned down after a losing season. And it's that serious. And we got this one dude whose kid is apparently a kicker for a local elementary school, and he is real goddamn big on it. I mean, he is. I don't think that kid's out there of his own volition.
Yeah.
So,
the thing that ruins sports, I think, for me, was the fans.
Yeah.
Kind of like Star Wars.
You have to have the right fans. My two... part of the reason I probably enjoyed my thing on Monday so much was because, again, I'm just hanging out with two dudes, friends of mine. And, we're watching the game, but we're also just, talking. And, I think part of what kills sports for people like us, because we're all of the nerdy persuasion,
yes.
It's contradictory to, when we were getting obsessed with stuff, it was considered weird. But, hardcore sports fans are just as weird.
Oh,
it's more socially acceptable because it's sports, And I'm not bitter about that or anything, but it's like there's an inherent contradiction there. And I think I'm finally kind of over it. Like, no, like if they want to nerd out about this, that's fine. Just don't be a dick about it. Just like if you want to nerd out about Star Wars, don't harass the actors on social media.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Right? Impossible challenges. Star Wars fans
Right.
being decent.
Extra difficult.
But I don't know. Like I've seen so many sports movies and I really enjoy them too. So it's like my issue isn't with the sport itself. It's number one, like a lack of accessibility. Like to really follow this stuff, it gets expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also like, yeah, the fans also ruin it. But I kind of want to. I feel like I'm turning into more of a boomer the older I get, because around Christmas I was thinking like, oh boy, those sausage and cheese boxes are back.
Oh, I've been excited about those since I was a kid, motherfucker.
Right, but then I found myself sitting down watching like World War II documentaries, eating sausage and
God.
crackers
Sounds
and
so
cheese.
peaceful, actually.
You know, that's actually way better than what I've been doing, which is reading this fucking book for the show.
Right.
And we'll
Right.
talk about that
The
another
amount of
day.
pain you go through for that show.
Motherfucker.
Right?
Yeah.
But
You always come to me about it. You're like, Gage, look at this shit. And I'm like, you poor son of a bitch.
Well, I mean, the book I'm reading right now has a chapter called Enter the Hebrews. So you do the fucking math of how my
Right.
mental health is.
one other sport I'm going to throw out there, which
Yeah.
like sport in air quotes, but is professional wrestling.
That's a soap opera with sweat
Well,
and blood.
I'm loving like because I've been seeing local shows because my friend does.
Oh, that's
stuff,
way
like, the
better
same guy.
than WWE. That's always
but-
going to be better.
But like, there's just something really cool about it, and I really enjoy it. So yeah, wrestling. I've really gotten into it. Like, if you ever want to like watch like good wrestling with a storyline that's a lot of fun, definitely try Lucha Underground. It's on Tubi TV, and it's Mortal Kombat with Mexican wrestlers.
Oh, all right. This sounds right up my alley.
Yeah.
Yes. There's time travelers, aliens. There's a dude called Luchasaurus who wears a dinosaur
Yeah.
mask.
Wait, what? Luchasaurus? I'm sold.
Yes, and then like one of the big guys, Mil Muertes, he's undead and he's accompanied by this dark priestess who like
What?
escorts him.
Is this a thing where there's a dude that jumps up and like makes snake moves and hypnotizes the other wrestlers?
Well, no, that was Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh,
Or no, that wasn't Jake the Snake, but they're because he did have a snake that.
oh, this is one dude jumping up and wrapping his legs around another dude.
Well, that's a lot of wrestling.
Yeah, but no, I'll find a video and show you.
I'm gonna post some fucking clips of this in the Discord at some point, just like because again, and it was running for a while, had some great wrestlers in it, like, and then just the insanity of some of those matches, because they couldn't quite do like the hardcore matches, with like barbed wire and stuff,
Yeah.
but they get close. They get close, and there's some real crazy shit that they do. And just, like, they're all peak athletes. It's impressive because, like, the commitment that you have to put yourself through to, like, jump off the roof of something and land on a table.
Yeah, no, I mean, I could never, like, so, the fakeness of wrestling comes up a lot. And yet, yes, while the outcome is probably predetermined most of the time,
Depends on if it's a make or a straight game.
Yeah,
or
the
match.
the physical feats, you can't fake that. It's not like they have
No.
CG
Yeah.
fucking effects.
Yeah,
studios
there's
sitting
some
by.
actual
A lot of the Flash.
athleticism in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and they're
and
putting
that's
these,
what...
they're
go
putting
ahead.
their bodies on the line because a
Yeah.
lot of these guys, their shelf life is not very long.
Yeah.
Yeah, just watch Dark Side of the Ring and you'll find out. But no, that's why I like Lucha Libre so much, because it's my flippy shit. That's what it's called. Like, Lucha Libre is flippy shit, because all of them are doing flips and shit. And it's amazing. Yeah.
And does it make you flip your shit?
Yeah, you guys have got to watch Lucha Underground. It's literally just Mexican wrestler Mortal Kombat. It's amazing.
No, it's
Like, one dude looks like Jason Voorhees, and they trot him out in like a greasy set of like a greasy like jumpsuit, and he's got like a mask on, and he like wanders around like Frankenstein's monster, just picks up dudes and slams them into the ground.
Sounds amazing.
It is so good. Yeah, like I try to get more and more people into this because they stopped it, but now a lot of those wrestlers are in other leagues and divisions and that sort of thing, and it's just so good. And then the promoter, oh my god, the promoter is like one of my favorite fictional characters. Oh god, it's so good.
This is reminding me so much of that Kaiju Big Battle.
Yeah, it's definitely got some of those vibes. But yeah. So like, I had a little bit of a foray into the sports world, and it was fun. I would recommend it. Like, if you have a chance to go to a game, especially at like a professional level, like, do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't get, at least if you're in my situation, you don't get those chances very often.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of sports around here, so
yeah.
It's
so So my thing is, next I want to see a Lakers game. I think that's what if living here in Southern California, if I could do a Dodgers game and a Lakers game, I think I mark some important stuff off of my checklist.
Hey, you might run into P. Diddy or something at a Lakers game. You never know.
Or at least Jack Nicholson.
Yes, Jack Nicholson.
Adam Sandler.
There you go.
And you can just walk up to Adam Sandler and be like, "Oh,
man, where you make it?"
All right, gentlemen. So, before we move on to the game, I think I want to go ahead and do birthdays today, because there's some interesting birthdays.
Well, before you do that, can I say there was one yesterday that was very important?
Of course.
Yesterday was the birthday of Jim Henson.
Yeah, because they have him listed on this list, so there's... I think, because it's the 24th for me over here, right?
Okay, yeah, well, it's the 25th over here, so...
Yeah, so he was one of the names I was going to read off.
Okay,
so.
well, I'm glad I got to do Jim Henson, since he was probably one of the most important celebrities in my life, so...
Yeah, there aren't a huge list of names of people that we're familiar with on here, or that we care. Like, I guess I'll just say that we care about. But there's some interesting stuff.
Sure. Who we got?
Okay, so you ever see My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
No.
I know the third movie just came out.
Yeah, I saw the first one. It's funny, but the lead actress, Nia Vardalos, it's her birthday today. It's the 24th on my end. If you've never seen that movie, it's pretty fun. Like, my mom loved it. I watched it a couple times because my mom loved it. It's good. I'd recommend it.
Okay.
In more depressing news, Kevin Sorbo.
Oh, fuck that guy. And that's a shame, because I really used to like Hercules: A Legendary Journeys, because it was like, I don't know, it scratches the itch that wrestling would have scratched.
The best part about Hercules' Legendary Journey was either Xena or
Autolycus,
or the brother of I can't believe I forget his name. The director.
Joxer, Ted Raimi.
Yeah, Ted Raimi.
Yeah, you played Joxer the Mighty, but I was going to say, Bruce Campbell was on there as Autolycus the Thief.
Fair. So everybody outside of Kevin Sorbo, apparently.
Yes. Everybody on that show except Kevin Sorbo was great. And I hate that the guy that played Ares died in a stunt gone wrong for his big budget movie debut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Phil Hartman, R.I.P.
Oh, man. There is not a day that goes by where the absence of Phil Hartman is not felt.
It's a big oof there.
Definitely.
Yeah, Brad Bird.
Oh, hey!
Oh.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Made one of the best Mission Impossible movies.
Made my third favorite Mission Impossible movie.
This one's for me, but Lara Jean Korostecki.
Who is that?
Did you ever watch Hannibal?
The show?
The show.
No, the first episode made me nearly throw up with some of the gore.
God damn it, Kevin. Anyway, she plays, because in the Hannibal TV show, they gender swap Freddie Lounds, the reporter. So she plays Freddie Lounds. She was also in the most recent season of Chucky as well, as one of the sisters.
Oh!
Yeah, she played the nun who was kind of obsessed with the
the one
priest.
who-
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that was her.
I remember
Yeah.
her. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Great
like,
character,
it's one of those things where it's like I love these small actors. Like, oh, speaking of which, two big things that were in this latest episode of Ahsoka. Claudia Black was one of the Night Mothers.
Yes, she was.
Oh, I did not.
Claudia Black from
She was the lead
Farscape.
one. Yeah.
She was also Gage. Do you remember Austin Powers?
Yeah.
Okay, and you remember his love interest was played by Elizabeth Hurley?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
If we're talking about the first movie.
Yes. Well, the woman that played her mother was Claudia Black.
Oh my God, I do not
And
remember her mother.
She was also in
Okay.
Stargate.
That's
One of the
right.
Stargate
With Ben
Stargate
Browder.
SG-1.
With
Yeah,
Ben
yeah. So
Browder.
Claudia Black, like, and Pitch Black.
That's right. She's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
good.
Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah, like I always had a thing for Claudia Black, but
I
like
think
just
we all did.
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. So Claudia Black, and then also Enoch, the second in line under Thrawn. Wes Chatham plays him, and Wes Chatham was in The Expanse. He played Amos.
You know, my friend Austin brought that up to me. I was like, that's great. He's wearing a helmet. That could have been anybody.
Oh no, it's definitely him. Like there's a moment where he turns.
I'm not
He's
saying
a very
it's not him. I'm just saying
Oh,
they
no.
could have got anybody to be in that suit.
No, but I'm also like, because there's a physicality. Because if you ever watch The Expanse and you watch Amos, like the way that he carries himself as Amos, you see that in this character of Enoch. The way he like moves, like there's a moment where he's kind of standing there and he kind of turns, and I'm like, holy shit, is that Amos? So it's one of those that's like a thing for me, but I definitely caught that.
Okay.
Let's see. We also have Jim Henson, obviously.
Yes.
R.I.P. Let's see.
Let's not forget how buck wild the Muppets were.
You know, Muppet Wrestling would be hilarious.
I would watch that.
I need you to step into the squared circle, Fozzie.
Gonzo the Luchador.
Oh my God, Gonzo would be a luchador.
In his chicken ring girls.
Oh, and speaking of wrestling, Stephanie McMahon, the daughter of...
Oh, that poor woman.
Yeah.
Being
So, yeah.
related to fucking Vince McMahon, that piece of shit.
With his pencil thin mustache these days. What the fuck?
Oh my God, he looks like somebody injected Clark Gable with steroids.
He looks like he'd be the type to try to sell you snake oil, and when he can't sell it to you, he like shoves it into you.
Yeah,
Just like
he
punches you until you buy it.
he looks like the villain from a telenovela.
So yeah, it's his daughter's birthday.
Oh, that poor woman.
So yeah, it's again not a whole lot of big names, but like still like it's nice that every time we do this, there's some stuff to recognize. So
Yeah.
all right, so you gentlemen ready for a game?
Oh, I think we're ready for a game.
Oh, let me do the Saw voice. Do you want to play a game? I want to play a game. All right.
Play a game.
So
Kevin, we have to at least watch the first one.
Saw?
No,
yeah, I have the
no.
complete series up through like 9.
No,
or-
that's one of the few things, Gage, where I'm absolutely refusing. I will never watch a Saw movie.
The first one is not super gory.
Don't care.
Okay. All right.
The first
Flat out
one's the
do
best
not
one.
Give a shit.
Yes.
Yeah, it was funny because when I was still with Haunted MTL, Holly and I were talking about doing a podcast called Let's See Saw. Because like I was a fan of the
That's
series,
terrible.
and I wanted to introduce her to it, so I bought the collection on Blu-ray and everything like that. We just never got around to doing it, but
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
now you've
they're
got
fun. They're fun.
I'm
I
weirdly
know.
excited for the nude one.
Yeah, you know, Gage, you and I'll do a Saw podcast. There we go.
Sawcast.
We could even use the name anyway.
Oh,
all right,
wait.
so
Call it Sawdust.
okay. All right, so we've got last time, you know, when Mike was hosting, he didn't have a game for us, and we had to improvise. So we're gonna do that again. This time, though, we're gonna do one-word story. Are you familiar with the game?
No.
All right, so this is kind of an old improv activity. We're gonna try to tell a story, and each person is going to give one word to that story. And we're going to go in a loop until we find like a natural endpoint. And there we go. Does that make sense?
We just add words until we make a story.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can either like help move it along, or knowing us, it'll end up getting derailed terribly.
Oh God!
It's like a crazier version of Mad Libs.
And Gage is involved in this, right?
Oh my.
Yes,
gosh,
yes. So it's going to be the four of us. We're going to be taking turns, so we got to figure out the turn order.
Okay,
Yeah.
So-
you start, David.
Okay, I'll start. Me, Kevin, Mike, Gage.
Okay.
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 And our goal is we try to get to an actual endpoint. We're not going to let this go on for too long because it's
Yeah.
going to be maddening.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead and give this a try. So, once.
There.
Was.
A.
Frog.
Who?
Lived.
In.
The.
Garbage.
He.
Looked.
Like.
A.
Frog.
Classy.
But.
He.
Had.
A.
Big.
Dick.
It.
Was.
So.
Huge.
It.
Could.
Hardly.
Remain.
In.
His.
Pants.
So.
He.
Didn't.
Wash.
His.
Belly button.
Should we just end the story there and
Yes,
try another one?
that's it. That was good though. I like that.
Okay, yeah, at the end.
What a
This is a
The
frog who
big
lived in the
frog.
garbage.
It's very
He had
thought
a huge.
provoking.
He couldn't reach it because his stick was so big. It just it was like always pointing up on his belly at his face. So
Jesus
Wait,
Christ.
does that imply that it's always erect?
yeah.
I was thinking someone was going to say erect, but there we go.
I'm laughing so hard Ginger is biting my feet because she's confused.
She's confused and concerned.
Do we want to do another one?
I think we're good.
We can always try another one.
I would
we
love
should
another one.
do a episode that's all games one day.
Oh, that'd be great. We should do that in a few weeks.
So there once was a frog with a huge who lived in the garbage. He had a really huge dick, and he didn't wash his belly button.
Truly a story for the ages.
Stephen
could
King,
write for
all
Rick and
coked
Morty.
Up, gives it 4 out of 5.
They will audit college courses about this story.
Oh my god.
God,
Jen, what do you think of this story?
I think the Germans will adapt it.
Oh,
Why? Well, hello there, Ginger.
Ginger agrees it was shit.
It was shit. It was a shit story, and I adore it.
I appreciated the nuance of the penis.
And I like to think the frog we're talking about is probably Enrique.
Probably.
Enrique lives in the garbage.
And he's got a big old hog.
The frog with
What?
the hog.
I
our
gotta
story.
say, it went the direction I thought it was going to go.
It did.
And I think it was because it was my fault.
Yep,
Because I said dick.
you,
Yes.
you did it, buddy. Well, there
Well,
was
people-
nowhere to go once big. It came
Right.
into huge
It
or
could have
whatever.
been a big house, a big
Could have been big
car,
tongue.
Big tongue. Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was a dick.
Yeah, it was
a
dick.
big old dick.
This is either going to be the most beloved game we've played or the absolute worst that everybody hates
Yep.
when they listen.
One way or the other.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I think that's going to call it for the distraction hole. I think we can claw our way out of here now.
Yep.
Any final thoughts before... well, first of all, Gage, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. I really
It was a
enjoyed
lot of
this
fun.
a lot.
And I'm sure we will have you back in the future because you are also in the same location with our other two hosts.
We can force him to be on here.
Anytime.
Or he can just like walk up to one of us while we're recording, just start talking, and there's really nothing we can do about it.
Yep.
Hey,
Yeah,
can
like
I
Holly
talk
does.
about this movie and that movie and it happens
Yeah.
in this movie?
I did have an idea actually for Patreon content for Supernatural Selection. I'm gonna get Gage on. We're gonna watch a few movies about UFOs and the paranormal, and we'll talk about them for the Patreon.
I really do think we could do a Supernatural Selection movie club show.
I think
Like,
so.
I would love that.
Well,
Like,
we're
we
gonna,
all watch a movie and talk about it.
Yeah. Well, we're planning on watching that new movie.
No one will save you.
Yeah, it's about alien abduction.
Oh, yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah.
I will say I've seen it already. I adored it.
So,
I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
But yeah, so any thoughts, anything anyone wants to say before I give the positive affirmation and close us out?
Just gonna say, listen to Supernatural Selection. Check out the Patreon. We've got new stuff coming. And be nice to the very next person you meet, you dumb son of a bitch.
I'm supposed to do the affirmation.
That wasn't an affirmation. That was a command.
Okay. Gage, you got anything you want to plug?
Oh no, not exactly. Other than be happy, watch movie.
I
How
like
about you,
that.
Mike?
Yeah, nothing for me. I'm
You're
pretty,
just playing the kitty right now? You're playing with
No,
the kitty?
she is now laying on the floor.
She's
done
eyeballing
with
me.
my shit.
I'm
Oh,
worried
okay.
for my feet now.
Okay, well, let me hit you guys up with a positive affirmation. Just a little thing to get you through the next week. Remember that it is always darkest before the dawn, but you should always open the door with pants.
Yes.
Unless they're Jehovah's Witnesses.
We do not. We do not condone those actions.
But they are funny.
We did have a friend that answered the door naked and was like, "Help me find Jesus. Come in."
It was his standard MO for any
Yep.
door knock religions to answer the door naked. And
Yeah.
it worked. They leave him alone.
Yep. I had some Jehovah's Witnesses come up one time, and I told them my name was Cronus, God of Time.
How fast did they walk back to their car?
They gave me a copy of the watch. They actually gave me 2 copies of the Watchtower before they left. That
For your
did
past
not
and
stop
future
them.
self.
Yes. Well, I think that was the point. Yeah. It's like, well, he's a God of Time. He's going to need something to read. And
Especially
then
when
again-
taking a shit.
Yeah.
I would love to have the option to be like, oh, hey guys, you want to help me sacrifice this lamb I got in my room right now?
All right, well, that has been the Distraction Hole. We will see you next week with, I believe, Kevin hosting, right?
Ooh, yes. I'm going to be hosting, and I got to figure out some stuff for that.
Well, there goes the neighborhood.
Woohoo! Hey, at least I'm planning.
Ow, shots fired.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Planning is just
anyway,
another word
that-
for failure.
Ooh, damn.
all right, well, with that being said, thanks for listening.
Bye.
And close.
Bye.
And scene.
And scene.
Up.